Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into the complete roadmap for one of India's most respected professions, the assistant professor. So if you've ever thought about a life that's all about knowledge and teaching, well, you're in the right place. This is going to be your guide.
So let me just start by asking you a question. Do you genuinely love to study? Like, really love it? And what if you could land a job where you actually get paid for that love of learning? A job where you're always surrounded by your subject? If you're nodding your head right now, then becoming an assistant professor might just be your calling.
So what is this job, really? And why do so many people see it as, the academic dream job? Let's break it down. At its heart, an assistant professor is both a teacher and a researcher. You're the one guiding students on their higher education journey. I mean, think about it. From your local college to the biggest central universities, these are the folks shaping our next generation of thinkers, of leaders. It's an absolutely crucial role. Okay, so let's say you're interested. What does it actually take to get there? Coming up next, we've got the essential checklist, everything you need to become a professor. All right, the journey really starts with a master's degree in whatever subject you love. That's the absolute minimum. After that, you've got to qualify for the National Eligibility Test, or NET. And third, a PhD. This one isn't always mandatory, but trust me, it's a huge game changer, especially if you're aiming for a university job. To really understand the NET exam, here's a simple way to think about it. You know the teacher eligibility test for school teachers? Well, the NET is basically that, but for college and university professors. It's that key exam that says, yes, you have what it takes to teach at a national level. But look, just meeting the basics isn't always enough, especially for the top spots. Things like getting your research published or having some teaching experience under your belt, that's what can really make you stand out. In that PhD we just talked about, for central universities, it's often not just recommended, it's pretty much a requirement just to get considered. All right, so we've covered the what and the how. Now let's get to the really good stuff, the why. What are the perks that make this entire challenging journey totally worth it? Let's not beat around the bush, let's talk salary. An assistant professor starting out in a central university can make over 1 lakh rupees a month. That's a pay scale that's often higher than even some top-level civil service jobs. So yeah, it's not just rewarding for your brain, it's rewarding for your bank account too. But honestly, it's about so much more than the money. This career gives you an amazing work-life balance, a ton of respect in society, and it keeps you connected to the energy and ideas of young people. And it doesn't even stop there. Senior professors often get to advise the government and help shape national policies. How cool is that? It's really a job where the pressure is academic, not political. It's a space where your main goal is to just grow, to grow yourself and to help your students grow. And that constant learning and engagement is what keeps you feeling sharp and young, even when you're 70. Okay, so you've got the qualifications, you're feeling motivated. How do you actually land the job? Next up, let's walk through the hiring process, because believe me, it's not the same everywhere. So there are basically 2 main roads you can take here. Path A, which is super common for state-level jobs, is a written exam followed by an interview. Then there's Path B, which is what central universities often do. They skip the big written test and instead use a points system. They rank you based on your grades, your PhD, your research, and then they call the top candidates straight to an interview. Getting the job is just the start of the adventure. What happens next? Let's take a look at the long-term career path, some of the real-world challenges, and the different kinds of jobs you might come across. The growth path is pretty clear. You start out as an assistant professor. After, say, 8 or 9 years of good work, you can get promoted to associate professor, and that comes with a nice pay bump. Then, after years of dedicated research and publishing, you can hit the top rank, professor, earning more than 2.5 lakh rupees a month. But now, let's have a quick reality check. This path is not without its hurdles. Unlike civil service exams that happen every year like clockwork, academic job openings can be really irregular. When they do open up, the competition is intense. And those interviews, especially at the big universities, can be pretty tough. It's also really important to know about the different types of jobs. A permanent role is the goal. High security, full pay, all the benefits. Then there's ad hoc, which is more of a contract position with less security and a fixed salary. And finally, you have guest lecturers, who have the least security because they're paid for each lecture they give. So here's the bottom line. The life of a professor is a marathon, not a sprint. It's built on a real passion for a subject and a deep commitment to sharing that knowledge. It's about building a legacy, one student and one research paper at a time. So the only real question left is this the legacy you want to build?